Hi guys, and welcome to the new channel Bal MCFC, where I'll be speaking about everything Manchester City related. This is gonna be the second channel, so if you like this kind of content, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I will appreciate it so much if you do so. But the reason I want to get into this channel and start making videos in the first place is because I was wondering, since Man City just had a bad season, what's Man City gonna do next season? So I was like, okay. I see a lot of people talking about it on the internet, on the YouTubes. I see all the channels, and I was like, maybe I can also explain my side or explain my opinions on City. So maybe we're gonna do more videos like this on the second channel. So hopefully you like this. This video is why Manchester City, or why I think Manchester City will be back next year. And before we even get into why I think so, let's go back to last season, our worst season in a decade, our worst season under Pep. The worst than I feel like his first season. It felt at times, especially during that November period, November to January period, it was so bad. But let's go back to last season. Let's first check what was our problems, and I made a whole document here on the side, so I'll be going through them. I'll hopefully go as fast as possible. I don't want this to be an overly long video. So the very first thing I wrote down was defensive availability and defensive frailties. Now there was some ridiculous stat out there during the season that went by. I don't remember it off the top of my head. Where had so much centre back partnerships. We had so much different back fours, and it was just like horrible situation and a big issue because everyone was getting injured. First, let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Kyle Walker, he fell off the face of the earth. Um, his performances was horrendous, terrible, and the least said about him, the better. Especially after the comments that he made recently, and we couldn't. Ruben Diaz couldn't stay in fit. Akanji couldn't stay fit. Ake was never fit. And John Stones never stay fit, and it was a massive issue. So much so that we had to buy two centre backs and throw Abdulkadir Kusanov straight into the thing, straight into a match against Chelsea, which is like it's just horrendous because like the pressure that's on him now, just because these guys couldn't stay fit. Now that was a massive issue, and we're conceding goals for fun with our makeshift back four. We had to put Mateus Nunes back there. He started making mistakes. I know he redeemed himself towards the end of the season, but it was a whole big deal. The next issue we had was the aging midfield, and specifically that they couldn't handle the physicality that and the pace of the new Premier League. And when I say new Premier League, is most teams are now going for this pace and power style of football where they're doing a lot of running, and our aging midfielders couldn't keep up with the pace, couldn't keep up with the strength, and in fact they were struggling to control games, which is the antithesis of Pep ball. We want to control the football game. So our aging midfield of Kovacic, Gundogan, and Bernardo was like they were struggling. They were struggling. They needed help, but there was no one to help because of Rodri's absence, and there was no one to help. And the next thing, in the attack sense, we were very predictable. Um, the one thing about Haaland, especially in the first season, there was a lot of goals where he was running in behind. De Bruyne would pass the ball through, and he would score. You can see it from his debut already. And he barely does it anymore. I think he done it once this season, or had one goal this season. I don't even remember against who it was, but like and I know Haaland is still making the runs, and just no one can find him. They always playing sideways, sideways, sideways. No threat, no direct ball. And it's mainly like some of our midfielders or some of our wingers cannot play the ball or struggle to play the ball, so they'd rather go safe, keep hold of the ball, keep holding the ball. But Haaland, especially with Haaland, is you need to take the risky balls because even 1 out of 10 gets off, it's a goal because it's Haaland, the best striker in the world, like the best striker on the planet. And towards the end of the season, when he came back from injury, you see Haaland was a bit hesitant with his movement. He wasn't making the runs because he was, and this is a psychological thing. I don't know if it's happening, but if you do something over and over and over and over and over again and it doesn't come off, at some point you're gonna think, why am I doing it? And I feel like that's what Haaland went through, especially if you look at our last game of the season. It was a ball Haaland could have scored. Savio cutting it across. He just didn't make the movement. He didn't, because he wasn't even expecting it. There's so much balls don't even come his way. So it was just predictable, bland brand of football in attack wise. And talking about balls coming into the box, pause. But there was a very issue because whenever like people complain about Doku and Savio and they have issues with the final product, final ball. When they look up and they see the box players to aim their crosses at, there's no one but Haaland standing at the far post. And like it's terrible because like back in the day when we were playing like false nine or we were playing not even false nine, we were playing treble season. Gundogan would make the runs into the box. De Bruyne would make the runs into the box. Rodri would stand on the 6-yard box, ready to whip one in far post or top corner. And it must be like really terrible because like Doku and Savio, they play the crosses, get cleared, and then everyone say they have no end product. They do need to work on the end product, by the way, but they just barely have anyone to aim for. Because if Haaland's the single person in the box from a city standpoint, you know how easy it is for the opponents to block it. Haaland may be a beast, but he can't handle 2-3 center backs and all the fullbacks and all the midfield because everyone's playing low block against us. So everyone's in their box and only Haaland to aim for. It's kind of crazy. Let's go. Let's go to the next issue, and I don't want to sound like an agenda because I think Savio or Savinho has promise. He had a decent amount of assists, mostly coming from the left hand side. However, we need more goals from him. He needs to learn how to shoot. Please, Savinho, please. Now that you're there in America, please just work on the shooting. Go get some extra lessons or something because we need goals from our wingers. And right now they're not performing as well as they could or should. Let's go on the other wing with Doku. And now I wrote in my notes here, Doku is an electric player to watch. He does the dribbles. He's skillful. He beats his players on the wing. All lovely, lovely, lovely work until we get to the final third. Or until we get to when he has to put the ball in. And that's what's frustrating about Doku to watch. Wingers can't find Haaland. Okay, and in the attack sense, there's been no goals from anyone besides Haaland. Our second best goal scorer of the season is Foden, and Foden fell off a cliff this year. That's just so bad. His purple patch in January, or like his little patch of form in January, and it made him our second goal scorer. And then behind him is Marmoush, who showed up in January. It's not good enough. Midfielders need to chip in with goals. Wingers need to chip in with goals. Gvardiol is the only one else that's actively playing every game and chipping in with goals. That says it all. We need goals in the team. The biggest one is obviously Rodri's absence. And when he went down against Arsenal back in September, it felt like our season fell apart right then and there. Because even last season when he got that red card, we lost all games. All games he didn't play. He was 3-match ban. We lost all 3 games. So his importance to the team as a single pivot, because there's no one else in world football that can do what he does. So people are like, oh, you're complaining about the Rodri not being there. But yes, because he's our most important player, defensive wise, even in attacking wise, because he brings so much to the game. He brings so much control. He stops the transitions. He scores. There's not much to say about the Ballon d'Or winner, the best player in the world, Rodri. Next on my list is drop off from key players, and in my list it says Foden. I think there's a lot of others that's in here as well. Ruben Diaz, especially Akanji. When he played, he was a bit terrible. Bernardo. And Good only came back. He's older. He clearly wasn't ready for it. He improved like towards the end of the season, man. At that point, we were already done. Yeah, so I don't know what happened to Foden this year, and hopefully I pray that he comes back. If it's a mental issue, if it's injury, we just hope, because Foden on his day is one of the best players in the world, and with Foden and Rodri back, even without the new signings, he can be. We can win the league next season easily, easily. Look what they done last season. Even though we weren't great last season, we still beat Arsenal. With Foden being the best player in the league and Rodri right behind him, best player in the world. Bozo moments. Bozo moments. I mean, nothing about Bozo moments. It happened in basically every game this season. But the one that you always think about is the one against Man United and that game. I hate that game with a passion. I was so upset after that game because I wouldn't say we were cruising. We were 1-0 up, Guardiola. We were 1-0 up, everything going fine, everything going smooth. Not smooth, but like we were protecting the lead. And then one simple mistake threw the whole game out. And we never recovered. Like it happened in so much games. It's Champions League games, the game against Sporting, the game against Feyenoord. There's so much stupid, simple mistake that we made that we never made before. And I don't know what happened, or I don't know why it happened, but as soon as we get rid of this, the better. And the last of last season's problems is Pep's reliance on familiar faces. Now, Twitter was going off. Oh, Pep always, they're blaming Pep for always picking Bernardo, for always picking Gundogan, for always picking Kovacic. Not changing, not putting in the young players like McAtee, like Nico Riley. Now, I understand it in some cases. But I can also understand it in Pep's side because these are guys that gave him everything. They gave him the treble. Not Kovacic, but these guys, he trusts them with their lives. These guys played for him for 6 years now, 7 years, 8 years. He actually loves these guys. He loves these players. So and he was going through a rough time in life, Pep. So it's understandable why he done so. I just hope that next season he comes with a clear mind, fresh tactics. Know that some of these guys can't play for prolonged periods of time, whether we sell them or not. If they're still here next season, like we can't have a midfield trio of Kovacic, Bernardo, and Gundogan. Now that's all. It's not all the issues. That's the issues that came up in my mind as I wrote this video. But let's go on to the positive for next season and why I think that Man City will just blitz teams again. Number one, Rodri's back. I don't need to say more than that. The best player in the world is back. The best midfielder in the world is back. He will be back. Whether it takes a little bit of time, but he has help now. And I imagine he will become back to his best, especially under Pep's guidance. We will see the best Rodri again. Whether it's the end of the year, beginning of next year, we will see him again. The reinforcements in January. Now people are skeptical about this. Marmoush, quality player, one of the best shooters in our squad. We don't have enough shooters in the squad, and he came in and just that goal against Bournemouth, unbelievable hat trick against Newcastle. He actually scored goals, and I like when he plays off the left rather than the right. But he just is a goal output machine, as I say. And we're going to see much more of him hopefully this season. Kusanov, shaky debut, but ever since he came, like after that, he was just amazing. He was great. He was lovely to watch. Centre back was pace. He was young. He was hungry. I understand people like, why wasn't he playing at the end of the season? But Ruben Diaz and Guardiola was a solid back four. We're going to like by the time the FA Cups came out, about they only scored considered one goal. So it was like you don't change what is not broken at that point. And Kusanov will have his time to shine. He's going to be playing a lot this season, and I want to see a lot more from him. I was excited to see him play. Who else? Nico Gonzalez is there. Now he didn't play as much as I would like, and people who know me, they think I'm a hater. But like, I think he's gonna be good. I just don't think he's going to be the best or as good as people think he's going to be. I think he's gonna be a solid player for us. He's gonna sometimes play the 8. He's gonna sometimes play the single pivot or double pivot, 6. But he'll get a lot of game time this season. People are always saying, "Oh, we already replaced him." No, we didn't. He's going to play the season. He's going to be fine. And Victor Hayes, Reis Hayes, however you pronounce his name, this is a tricky one because there's very much potential that he might be going on loan this season. I'm not sure where he fits in the plans because Pep already said he doesn't want a big squad. However, I can see a loan move being done. If not, if he stays, I think one of the old heads will be going. John Stones, Akanji, okay, one of them will be going if Victor Hayes stays. Oscar Bob's return is the next positive. He was excited. I watched preseason, before last season. I watched preseason and this guy was lighting it up. He was the best player on the pitch by a mile. Better than Haaland, better than Grealish, better than all these guys. He was the best player in preseason. And then before the season starts, I was excited. I'm like, oh, we're gonna watch him. It's gonna be amazing. And then he breaks his leg. And my hype for the season went from year to year. And it was like, damn, unfortunate. But I think he will be back. I'm excited to see him this season. I don't think we should loan him out. I think he should stay and give him some minutes. Especially now in the Club World Cup, I'm excited to see him. If you made it this far in the video, drop a like and subscribe. Foden's hopeful return. I already spoke about Foden. We hope he's going to be back. New assistant coach, new set piece coach, and I see Colo Torres also as a coach there under Pep in the Club World Cup. This is exciting because I think we need new ideas around Pep. I think the dressing room got stale. The assistant coaches wasn't challenging him as much. I think the new arrivals, Pep Linders and whatever the set piece name, I can't get his name right now, but I think they will do wonders, and I think they will challenge Pep, give him new ideas, play interesting style of football. All these things, I think that they are breath of fresh air. A hopeful system change into a more attacking style. Now, I think this is why we signed Aït-Nouri. And I think this is why we are not signing more out-and-out wingers. I think we are going to go for inverted wingers. And I think we're going to play Foden on the right and Mamouche on the left. Cherki right behind Haaland. That's what I hope to see. And I hope Aït-Nouri is going to be bombing down the left-hand side. Now what we're going to do with the right-hand side, I do not know with the right back. But hopefully this shows a attacking intent from Pep to play a new electric style of football, because last season was bad. People normally said Pep played boring football. I don't think that was the case, but last season it was the case. It was so bad and boring to watch. I wrote here, build around Haaland and you'll be firing from all cylinders. Haaland will give you 30 goals a season minimum, 40 goals a season average, 50 goals a season if he's firing, if he's good, if he's firing, no injuries, balls in behind, creating for him, because some games he just gets no touches. I remember the game against Arsenal where we lost 5-1. Haaland, like, Arsenal have an amazing defense, but Haaland he scored in both games, in both Arsenal games. And it's like, these are like one of the best defense in the world. And Haaland's still scoring against them. If we just get him more chances, because he only had one chance at 5-1 game. It's like crazy. New summer recruits. Now this is where it gets interesting. Aït-Nouri, the first one. It's our first left back since Benjamin Mendy. Don't like mentioning it, but less said the better. And it just feels good to finally have a left back in the team. Like, when do we have an active left back in the team? Sagna, Clichy, Kolarov. That was years ago. I was a kid. That was years ago. I'm a grown ass man now. So finally having a left back at the club is exciting for me. It brought me excitement to watch. We don't have to watch Ake on the side, even though Ake was solid. And we don't have to watch Guardiola because I think he's better as a centre back, even though he was killing it at left back. I say I know he dribbles like a madman, which is true, and he can invert and play touchline. So that's what we need. We need options. Some games he's gonna play more in the midfield, invert. Other games where the team give you space on the wing, he's going to bomb forward. And I think like people gonna argue about transition, but that's why I think if Rodri being back and playing Reinders and all those guys, is going to be much more solid than playing a single Kovacic pivot and then playing a ball over and Angst gone run back. Tijani Reinders, Serie A midfielder of the season, in a horrible AC Milan side. And AC Milan is my second team, by the way. He's the best player in like a large margin. He's carries the ball up the field extremely well, can shoot outside the box, provides assists, provides goals. Gundogan reincarnation, the new Gundogan is the replacement. We need goals and assists from this guy. People say he can't defend, but I don't care. If he's playing next to Rodri, it doesn't matter. We need goals and assists from this guy, and I'm excited because he's an established player. He's 26. He's not a project. We're excited to see him perform from minute one. Ryan Cherki, the most exciting one, obviously. For obvious reasons. This man is hella talented, the most talented player in the team right now. He's attacking threat, incredible skills. I don't know, he has a chip on his shoulder. He wants to be the best. He says from all his words, he wants to play at the best places. He wants to be the best. And I'm just excited to watch him play. People say that Pep is gonna ruin him. They're just chatting waffle. They're chatting nonsense. This guy is gonna be electric to watch. Hopefully, he can start firing as soon as possible. But he's still young. There's time. Even if it doesn't happen for him quite like that this season, there's a lot more time for him. Okay, centre back partnerships is gonna be solid. Guardiola's gonna be back as centre back. Hopefully Ruben Diaz can go back to his form. Ruben Diaz and Gvardiol centre back partnership is gonna be solid. Even a Gvardiol Kusanov partnership can be hella solid. I think we're just gonna concede much less goals this season. Facts. We're gonna have goals from all over the pitch now. Mamouche goals, Haaland goals, Foden goals, Cherki goals, Reinders goals, Rodri goals. There's just gonna be much more goals this season as a dub because like go back to that Centurion when he scored over 100 goals and we were electric, scoring 5 goals, 4 goals, 3 goals for fun. No matter who showed up against us, we were just hella fun. I think we'll get back to that. Haaland will get service, and Haaland will service his treble year. 52 goals in a season. Haaland, the manager signed a 9.5-year contract. Future captain of his club. Build around him, and we'll be back. We will have creativity. Ryan Cherki. Nuri. Tijani Reinders. Foden back. Creative people all over the pitch. No boring brand of football and slow build up. We're gonna go from back to front hella fast, especially if we have Edison still. That is all I wrote in the notes. There's probably plenty more there, but that's where I'm gonna leave it off. This video is probably too long already. If you want to see more of this kind of videos, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully I'll be back on Wednesday. This video is coming out before the Club World Cup game, so I'll be doing a watch along to that game as it happens. I'll just stream on the second channel, and I'll see you then. Ball out.